Hey people of the internet, welcome to Word. As many of you may know already, I am a videographer, a medical student, as well as a YouTuber. Well, if you follow me very well on this channel, you will know that I'm an advocate for side hustling, and so I decided to do videography. Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how much I actually make out of videography, how I land my clients, how many hours I actually spend, and if actually working for an agency is actually the best thing to do as a freelancer. Well, if you are someone who is actually interested in going into videography as side hustling or as a freelancer, just stay good because I'm going to give you all the perks and how I'm actually making it out of videography. This is how my love for videography emerged. I am someone who loves talking to a large number of people as well as explaining concepts to them. So I decided to talk to you guys through a particular medium, which is the camera, which I know after getting the footages, I can share it on media platforms for you guys to have access to. Now, on these platforms, you have to provide quality videos in order to be part of the top tiers. And so that's what I had to do. And so that is how gradually I grew love for videography. Now, if you are someone who is actually interested in videography, I think this is the best video for you because you get to know how much you can actually make from videography depending on your environment. If you are to join an agency, is it really the best thing to do? How many hours can you actually spend in editing videos? And then again, one important thing, how are you going to land your clients? Well, after gaining the skills of videography, there's one important you don't have to ignore: how to land clients. Now, clients are the one going to pay, and so you have to land them. It's really important and necessary. Now, how do you go about this? I know there are this traditional way of getting into the email and DMs of restaurants, managers, real estate agents, tell them about how good you are, how many experience you have, and then how you are going to provide them with a good job. And so they should consider giving you the job and stuff like that. We all know about that, which I've tried on several occasions. And trust me, I know these people receive this kind of messages each and every day, but what makes you stand out? That's really what will change your life. And that's what will give you the money at the end of the day. And so this is how I think you should go about it. Now, instead of you going into the email and typing, I am a videographer with this years of experience and I can provide you with this video, these are some things that you can actually do to gain this client. Now, take their old videos, re-edit it, make it look very better, and share it with them and tell them that, look, they should consider this video. If they really like what you've done, they can call upon you next time for a gig, which is going to be very fast. Again, you can also consider doing a lot of videos like I do. I do YouTube videos. People just watch my videos and be like, yeah, this guy is providing qualities, and so we can contact him for our jobs. And so that's how you land clients. These days, you don't push yourself to them. You just provide what you do and then they see it. Now, like I said, instead of you typing, I have 7 years experience, you just have to create a portfolio, create an Instagram page, create a Facebook page, create a Google Drive, and then put all your work over there. Label it so nicely in order that when you give your client the link, they're able to navigate through your Google Drive and get what they want. And so they can see how your work is. And at the end of the day, they can give you that job you've been seeking for. And so this is something I really want to share. It's something I basically do. I have a lot of videos I do. All I have to do is give it to my clients, and then they, at the end of the day, see it. And when they love it, they contact me and we start doing job. And that's basically it. I love to create, so each and every day there's something for me to edit, either for my client or for my YouTube. Now, my YouTube is quite easier because I have the template. All I need is footage to put in there and the job is done. Maximum, I spend 4 hours editing my YouTube videos within the week, except for podcasts, which can take some hours, not more than 6 hours though. Now, I like that of the client, which can go on and off. Yeah, that can go a very long way. So on an average, I can spend 10 hours editing that. So on an average, I can say I spend 10 hours editing videos within a week, which I think it's good enough for me as a medical student. And so that's how I go about it. So if you're looking for into entry videography as a full-time job, 10 hours a week is just nothing. You can do a lot aside that. But just mind you, this is just the video editing aspect. Now, when it comes to shooting, you just have to spend a little more time as well. Now, for me, when it comes to event, I can sacrifice the whole day for it. When it comes to shooting my YouTube videos, not more than 4 hours is okay. And this is how I go about it. Now, within a week, if there's an event for me to shoot, which I normally do, I don't shoot more than 2 events within a week, which I know will take much of my time as a medical student. So I consider all this stuff because I know the maximum I can sacrifice for an event is just 1 day. And so that's how I go about it. And when it comes to YouTube video, the maximum I can sacrifice is just not more than 4 hours. At first, I hated working with agents because I felt like they were cheating me. For instance, when I'm paid $100 per video, it could be that I was paid $150, just that the agent took my $50. Well, it happens in the society all the time. For instance, when you provide a service and then you go for another service and you are asked to pay for that service, you don't feel pain because you know that when you also provide service, you are being paid for it. But what happens is that in a society where people don't provide service, when they go for services and they are asked to pay, they actually feel pain. They feel like they are being cheated. It's just the same situation I had until I realized that no, that's how the word actually works. Now, when you are working with agents, they actually have their perks as well because they get to introduce you to a lot of people. You get to work for their clients as well. And definitely they have to take charges for the service they provide you. All right. So, well, if you're someone who wants to go into videography, you can work with agents or set up your own agency where you can actually invite freelancers to actually work for you because you know the clients, and then you might not be available for all of them. Like sometimes I do. I normally take up to only one event in a week. And so if there is more than one event, that means I need someone to work for me. And so there's where the need for me to build an agency comes in order to get more freelancers, in order to get, clients for them as well. Because landing a client on your own is actually difficult most of the time. But then if you work under an agency, there is a higher chance that you get clients to work with because the agency have, contact with these big people, and it really goes a long way to help you. And so consider working with them. But then if you are someone who actually is jealous about, gaining money or more money, or thinking that your agent is actually cheating, you can go solo. And sometimes it helps, even though it's very difficult. And so sometimes I fly solo. I also work with agencies sometimes these days. So that's how it all happens. So consider working with an agency if you are someone who is not really jealous. I know most of you guys are actually waiting for me to tell you how much I earn per month when it comes to videography. I'm going to definitely say it in this video because it's part of my title. Now, before I get to it, there are certain questions people ask me that I feel like this is the right moment to answer them. They'll be like, what is the best software to use when it comes to editing videos? Now, I normally will tell them that it's not about the software, it's about what you can do with the software. Now, certain softwares are actually complicated to learn and stuff like that, which I'll get to in some other videos. Now, what I will also tell you is that, look, when you are a videographer or a video editor, around you, there are a lot of people that you are in an environment with people who actually edit video. Now, look around. Majority of the people, what software are they using? Because based on that, you can actually get assets from them. So if most of the people are using, let's say, Premiere Pro, you should consider using Premiere Pro as well, because that way you can exchange assets quite easily. When it's DaVinci Resolve, consider that. CapCut, you can consider that as well. So it depends on what the large number of people in your environment are using. Then again, people will ask me, look, what PC is the best PC to use when it comes to video editing? Well, I am someone who really loves Windows, but I think the best thing you can use, which can actually help you, is just the MacBook, because the MacBook provides you with a very good screen as well as a very good processor. So you can consider the M2 chip as well as the M3 chip, but you should always consider to buy the MacBook Pro instead of the other ones. So the MacBook Pro is the one you should go for. But if you're someone who is looking forward to budgets like me, you can consider a gamer, but one thing you have to know is the gamer does not give you the screen that you need when it comes to video editing, because color grading is really important when it comes to video editing. Then again, this is one important question most of the people ask me, and I feel like this is the right moment to also share it. They'll ask you, how do you price? Now, what happens is that when you start editing video, you don't get to that particular level in time. But later on, when you get to that level, your demand becomes higher. Now, when your demand becomes higher, you should know that you should also increase your pricing, because that's how it works. It's simple finances. Now, when your phone starts ringing for job, you should also consider that you are becoming good at what you are doing. And so you should charge more. And that's how I go about it. So that's how I vet my clients. Now, in a week, I can get more than 3 jobs. So when this happens to me, I vet them. I make sure that, look, I get the best out of it, because when client A doesn't pay, client B is ready to pay, because I know I'm providing the best. And now you should also consider having a base, something like someone you work with. Let's say, for instance, you have a YouTuber you've signed contract with. This is someone who gives you money each and every week. So you don't care if there is no job, because at the end of the day, you fall on something. So that's how I go about, charging my clients and knowing the best thing to do. And finally, people ask me, who is the best client I've ever worked with? Well, for me, I've worked with a lot of people as at now, just that I don't share their works because copyright issues and stuff like that. But then the best people I've worked with when it comes to video editing, I think they are the people who actually give me contract, which I know that at least within a month, there's something I'm going to fall on to. And these are the people I've worked with so far. And I've worked with and stuff like that. But I think the people I really love working with are the people who I work with each and every week. But then if you are watching this video and feel like I can provide you with, best videos, you can just hit me up and then, we can work. Finally, to the last part, what most of you guys are waiting for, how much I actually earn when it comes to video editing. So when it comes to how much I'm earning per month when it comes to videography, I think I should be earning more than I'm earning right now because of the environment I found myself. You should know that I'm not a citizen of this country. I'm just, studying here. And so getting clients is actually a bit skeptical because they are not really sure if you're going to provide them with their right job. But then your portfolio should talk for you. So that's what happens. And then again, they also consider the fact that I'm a student and so I'm not into videography as a full-time job. And one important thing I've left behind was branding. I actually didn't brand myself as a videographer. And so we normally go in for negotiations, which shouldn't be the best. You should also set a standard, how much you are being paid for this particular job. And so there's something that I learned later on, which I think it will help you if you're a videographer. You should set a standard. So let's get straight to the point. Enough with the talking now. When it comes to videography, your environment actually plays an important role. I know people in the US earn much more than the UK and then in that order, but in Africa, especially in Morocco here, as someone who is studying, it's quite difficult because they're not really sure. But then I think what I earn is quite enough for me. And because I'm looking forward into scaling this particular job into something very huge, which definitely will pay later on. But then let me just go straight to the point. I know you guys are waiting for it. So basically for me, like I said, each and every week, there's something for me to edit. If it's not YouTube, it's for a client. So on an average, in a week, I can get something like $150 in a week. So in the whole month, if the month actually goes very well, minimum $300 and then maximum $500, which I think is enough for me. But then what happens is that all this thing goes back into my work because you'd have to send yourself to the location, buy food to eat. pay the other people you work with because I cannot work alone when it comes to editing. So when all these things are off, I think in a month I make $200, $200 to $250, which definitely I think I should be earning more, but just that my environment is not permitting me to earn more. So if you are someone who is looking forward to working with me, you can just hit me in my DM and then I will discuss with you the pricing. So this has been it, and I hope you've taken a lot out of today's video. If you've taken a lot out of it, please do it to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and see you guys in the next one.